how long have you been biking now?
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, only 2 years. So early times of the bike. Yeah, it's been good. It's definitely like totally different than running. Like totally different muscles, totally different endurance, totally different everything. Mechanics, learning a machine, you know, all the things. It's not just me anymore. So, you know, there's just like.
What's the biggest difference?
I think biggest difference would probably be understanding a machine and then using your body in a way that feels less comfortable than running. Running feels like a second nature to me at this point in my life because I've been doing it since I was like 3. Whereas like cycling to me, it's so out of body and so not natural. But as I ride more, it's definitely gotten better for sure. Yeah.
So you just pick it up.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like I don't think I ever would have started doing this without Brevet and without Trip, because that was a big push where like design-wise, I wanted to learn how to design product for a cyclist, but then it's like to be able to understand the cyclist, you kind of have to be it. And it's kind of anything with apparel design or gear design. The people who design the best product for those things are the people who do those things. So I knew that if I wanted to design something for the cyclist, I also had to be one in a sense. So I started to kind of like lean into the concept of the machine and get an idea of, you know, how does it feel to use it and how does it feel to be on it, so that way I can help create something for them too. And that's why I worked in the running industry and apparel industry and run for 4.5 years prior. But I felt like it just like connected more with like who I was. So yeah, exactly.
Just blended
Yeah,
naturally into the industry.
totally.
You mentioned so you were running at 3 years old?
Yeah.
Like what
Yeah.
kind of running?
I started running, I think the first photo I have of me running is me in like a pink leotard and the tutu at like some random kids race, like for Halloween or something, that my parents have this photo of me like running with my hands up like this, looking so joyful. And I don't have like memory of that moment, but I have the photo evidence of it, so I know it happened. And then my first race that I remember was when I was 7. My dad signed me up for a 5K with him, and I visibly remember just him running backwards, being like, "You can do this, it's fine," and me being like, "This sucks, I hate this." And then at the end of it, they went through all the things where it's like age group medals, and I ended up winning my age group, and I was like, oh, maybe I like this, because it's like competition and, you know, winning, and like as a kid that's so exciting. So for me, that was kind of like the initial, you know, the hardware moment was everything for me. So I was like, oh sweet, like I could do this and get things to take home. And it was also a really cool moment with my dad where we just kind of like got to do something together that was really fun and different and an activity, and it was outside, and that kind of was the beginning of everything for me. And then I stayed in it now, and now I'm 28, so it's been like 21 years of my life that I've been doing it like competitively in a sense. Yeah.
Was there a moment in your life that you didn't run?
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah, that was more recent than you probably would imagine. So during COVID, when everyone else was picking up running and finding it, I was moving away from it. So I obviously competed competitively for about 10 years with like middle school, high school, and then college. I moved out to Seattle in 2018, and during that time I was shifting into the marathon, ran a marathon, had a miserable time, and then after that had a lot of issues with iron and cortisol and like different levels of just like unhealthy living and existing, and was really struggling to love it, and I wasn't able to meet the standards that like my body wanted to meet from when I was in college. And I just decided, I was like, I need to take a few steps back and find love again before I can actually step back into this. So I took like probably a year or two, like 2020 to 2022, where like I just didn't really run, hiked a lot, did a lot of other activities. And actually during that time is when I met Trip, and when I like started to talk about biking a little bit more, and I started picking that up. And then actually during that time, I also re-picked up running. I found my group of girls that I met when I moved out to Seattle, which is like Ashley from CSRD and Evis, who now coaches at Barry's, and my friend Xana, and like all these girls who have really inspired me as like marathoners and moms and like all these other things, that I got to kind of get back with them in like 2022 and start not only just loving running, but feeling really good about it, and then also feeling good in like current body state. Because I think going from like 21-year-old Morgan, who's running in college, who's like running 5-minute miles and doing all these great like athletic accolades and cool things, and you know, running in the Mid-American Conference meet and feeling like really accomplished, moving out here and not feeling as much into that like competitive edge or like ability to compete in the same way. I kind of had to reset expectations with my body and myself and be like, now we're 28-year-old Morgan, who's loving running, coaching running, also a cyclist, like learning how to reuse my body in a different way and enjoy it, even if it's not necessarily always the pace that I was like able to do before. And it's like a relearning after being a collegiate athlete, like how to love the sport again. And I think that's like been the big piece of why I took a break, because I needed that like reset mentally a little bit. Yeah.
You're at a different size mountain.
Yes.
You're at a different peak.
Yeah.
Competing at a completely different level. So
Yeah.
from that, you going from like high level competition, 5-minute mile, all these accolades. Can you remember that moment where it was like, all right, that life is done. I have to transition into like actual, you know, everyday reality.
Everyday reality, yeah.
Like, did you have any challenges or like kind of internal battles that you?
Oh, constantly.
Like what?
Yeah, I think I still do. Like, even though I've like definitely been able, you know, I think women in the space of running, and then also just like in the space of running in general, there's a lot of like comparison. There's a lot of opportunity to look at someone else's Strava and see what workout they did or what they're doing. And I think in college, I was so hidden from that space because you just were comparing yourself to what you were able to put out for your team or what you were able to do with your teammates. And it was more about your individual self. And now as an adult, there's so much opportunity for comparison between other adults and what they're doing or how many races they've run or what their marathon time is. And like, I find myself falling into that a lot, but I've gotten really good at like mentally being able to say like, this is me now, this is who I am, and like as long as I'm joyful in it and like loving the people I'm with, maybe I'm doing it with my friends, maybe it's me like training or doing a workout with my husband for fun, maybe it's like, you know, I play on a soccer team now, which I never thought I would do as an adult, with like a bunch of people who work at Brooks, and it's just like enjoying activity and like not allowing this like level of competitiveness to ruin my joy in it, and really just like kind of finding this new human in it, in a sense. And I think that honestly, I will probably fall backwards many times in my life. Like, I think it's very easy to go back on like my PRs list and be like, oh wow, I did all those things, like why can't I do that anymore? But you know, as we kind of like shift through life, you kind of have to reset expectations and understand that like it's not always going to be the same, but you can always find a new reality or a new goal that's like existing in your current body state. And that's kind of how I've been trying to like float through activity and find less competitiveness and more community is kind of like where I'm at this point. Yeah.
That sounds like another reset happening with
yeah.
the bike.
Yeah.
And what you notice kind of within your body? You mentioned even in the past you started to have like iron issues,
yeah,
and health issues. What did you even notice going from running a lot to just biking, like the impact?
Yeah.
Like less impact on your body.
Yeah.
Not running as much.
Totally. I mean, this is like all different muscles, all different feelings. I think the number one thing that I like really noticed was running felt easy to me, and my body and my muscles, this felt hard. Like it was easier on the joints in the sense of like recovery was better, but it was harder in the sense like I didn't feel like I could perform in the same way that the people around me that I was with were performing. Like climbing a hill on a bike, so much harder than running in my opinion. And like there were moments where I would fall behind in our friend group and just not feel like I could keep up. And I was always just like, what's wrong with me? Because you question everything about your ability. And I found that it's like the more I ride my bike and the more I become familiar with the bike and the more I become familiar with this machine, the better it gets every single time. And now I'm just like more honest. I'm more like upfront, like, hey, I need to slow down, or hey, this is what's going on with me. And like communication is everything. And also surrounding myself with people who will, one, listen, and two, help me learn how to do it better has been obviously super ideal. But in the sense of like, I ride my bike probably like 2 times a week at like most of the time. If I get more than that, that's great. And it's been able to like allow me to do those like harder, longer runs still, like a little bit healthier, or take a break when I'm starting to feel a little bit like my knees start to get a little cranky. I'm a little older than I was when I was in college and things like that. And this does give me that like kind of reset day, but I still get to do the activity that I love to do and still get to work like aerobically, which is great. So it still kind of serves a purpose, but it's definitely different. Yeah.
I love that. So I think we'll cap it off with just the final question. Why do you move?
Yeah. I think for me, I was thinking about this before we met, and I was like, what is the reasoning? And I think it actually came where we've been thinking about a lot of what we've done with Brevet is like, who are we in this space and what are we creating, right? And we have 2 people that exist within our brand that I'm kind of building right now at the same time. And it's elite, racing, performance, and then it's community and like inclusion. And I think for me at this point, movement is competition, community, and creativity. Like those are my big 3 C's for where I'm at. Because my competition, I still am like, I will always and forever be a competitive person. Like I grew up competitively racing from 7 all the way until I was 22. And I still probably will again. You'll probably find me running a marathon at some point again. I don't know when, but it will happen. So competition, I don't know if I'll ever race a bike, but competition and like always trying to better myself in this space. My community is everything. So building a community in the space of cycling that is inclusion for women, inclusion for people of color, inclusion for people who don't feel like they belong in the sport. I think it is a predominantly white male specifically sport. So we're really trying to create a space where people can walk into our brand and our group rides and feel like it's a community in a space. But same with running, like building community, constantly being a part of groups around the city, showing up for people. And then creativity, I'm a designer. And a lot of what I design is athletic and outdoor apparel. So being able to like apply my movement to what I do for work every day is a huge part of how I exist and why I still do what I do and why I love what I do. So yeah, community, creativity, and competition, always. Yeah, sweet.
Killed it.
Nice.
Thank you. That
Yeah.
was great. Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
That was really good. I think people will connect to I think the transition from high level athlete to like, okay, now I'm a regular person trying to figure out how to compete.
Just a regular gal.
Yeah, we're all just regular people trying to figure it out. And so I think that transition normally is like the toughest.
Totally.
I've learned for people who've been in that space, and I think people will connect to, okay.
Love that.
The community, keeping you consistent, because there's, I've had friends who they've played in major league sports.
Yeah.
And after that,
it's like you lose it. Yeah.
You lose it, and drove them to depression.
Totally.
Because it's like that level.
Yeah, and that was we did group rides every Thursday through the winter because we were like, we just want consistency in that community. Like that's everything for us. And then CSRD obviously grew off of consistency in a community, and now I've been helping another run club called Cool Down kind of grow and become like, more of a space here in Seattle. And again, theirs is like consistency community. And like I found that like the more you show up for people, like whether it's on the bike or running, like the more people are going to show up for you in return, which is everything, especially for us. Like we're going to be selling a shoe that's probably between $400, $500. So like if we can show up for people in a community standpoint, maybe they'll be excited to like purchase something that we've been working years and years and years on, even if it's like a higher price than normal, because they'll feel a connection to it in a sense that like we're real humans, selling something real. It's not just like, another cycling brand showing up with an expensive thing because they've built a brand for like decades and they're like, oh yeah, we'll buy it because you will. Like it's different, it's like we're real humans. But yeah.